It's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas Pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattyson. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas Pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs. And good afternoon, Razorback Nation. It is April 19, 2025, and I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us today. This is an extra special podcast that we're doing here live at Torchys Tacos in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Now, spring game. It was completely nixed today because of weather, which could possibly come. We're not sure yet, but again, it was canceled today. But I have got Donnie Centers, Luther Franklin, Terry Tatum, Alyssa Orange, Limbo Parks, and Marshall Foreman. I had to give you a little bit of a run, just a little bit of a pause. But I want to thank also Carbliss Cocktails. They'll be here very shortly. Check out any of their great drinks, which are 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and only 100 calories. And also here at Torchys Tacos, make sure to stop by and grab the taco of the month, which happens to be the Vagabond, or any of those great tacos on that board behind you. Pair that with any of their with their queso, and open your taste buds to a whole new world. Y'all, how are you doing today?
Doing fine.
Excellent, excellent.
I am not worthy to be at this table, but thank you for inviting me.
Why would you say that?
You guys, come on now. I'm just here for the stories.
So,
we don't have any of those.
you know, that was one of the things that we had talked about was with some of these stories. We're just going to pass this mic around as you guys go along. You know, some of these stories that we were talking about here, a month and a half ago, I feel like a lot of folks have been able to kind of get some insight on what it was when you guys lived here on the Hill, participated in inside those confines of Razorback Stadium, and also outside the confines. You know, I think that when I say this, I think I speak for everybody here. It was a joy. It was a privilege to be with you all and talk with every one of you guys. And I'm gonna tell you, time has really treated you all real well. I know Marshall, he's here not really agreeing with me a little bit, but I mean, you all look great, seriously, and it really is an honor to be with you all again today. Who wants to go?
Well, thank you. It's nice being here today. I was just looking over the hill at the stadium. I don't really recognize the terrain anymore. I don't really know where I am. I had this limbo. How did I get here? He said, MLK, now I'm at Economy Liquor Store. You know what a liquor store is? Yeah. Yeah, I remember the liquor store, but I didn't know.
A landmark he wouldn't know well.
Yeah.
Hey, the liquor store is no longer there. I went there one day when I saw it was tore down. I had to drive around the little circle and stand out and put my little cap out and give him a little, prayer.
Right.
Pour one out for him.
I poured one out for it. That's right.
So, how has it been so far since you guys got back into town yesterday?
Oh, he's talking to you guys that came in.
I'm talking to you three right here.
Yeah.
So it's been unusual for me because I've never came back as often as some of these guys may have over the years. I was always involved with I have 3 sons, and they were also involved in sports and things. So I really never made it back up here as much as these guys did. And so to be able to come back now, because my sons are all out of school, college, and everything they were doing. So to be able to come back now, it's like seeing a totally different place. I mean, it's hard to recognize that's the same university football field we used to run stadium steps on now.
Are you sure that's the same field? It looks a little different.
But listen,
It's in the same area, right?
it's in the same place. Yeah.
So you're saying we still have some sweat over there somewhere?
It's somewhere. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'm just telling you, it does not look the same at all. I mean, and I get it. I mean, over the years, things have changed up here. And I know why they changed. Because, you go to the SEC and you get that stipend check every year. You got to do something with all that money. So, I mean, it's just how it is. So.
Stipend check or per diem check.
No, they get a stipend check. They're not getting per diem. They
don't get $25 every 2 weeks like we used to.
He's not talking about.
About 60.
He's talking about the athletic department. That SEC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about $60 million.
Oh, they get one of those?
They get a $60 million check. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Every year.
We didn't get that $60 million.
We didn't get that $60 million.
We didn't get that from the SWC?
No. Look, under the NIL right now, though, I think Martha can get about $10 million. Limbo get $10 million. Johnny get $10 million. Luther get $10 million. So we might get $60 million altogether. Yeah.
Hey, I take it.
Honestly, back then, I would have took about $45 a week. I mean, hey, that $25 every other week we were getting,
Yeah.
that didn't go very far.
Hey, but why'd you take it then if it didn't go very far?
They called it laundry money in Limbo. I had to wash my stuff every day.
You went to the creek down there and put it in there. Some of them done that.
You got to remember though, that $25, you can go to Wendy's and feed 8 people for that $25.
No, but if you remember when Lou was here, we didn't need that $25 for that. Because we weren't even free.
What happened with that?
I know me and Kevin Nixon had a bit of thought on that. Yeah. So, yeah, we ruined that.
Oh, no.
Is that what you were getting at?
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, man, I was young.
What happened on that? Tell that story.
That's before you got here.
I know. I heard about it.
Give it doo-doo.
Put it up there, Luther.
Hey, all I'm saying, it was over a girl, so I'm going to leave it at that.
No, it wasn't over a girl.
It wasn't?
No.
It was
Come on, man.
right?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah. But no, it was just over. It was just over Kevin doing what Kevin was talking all the time. All the time. We've been at 40 all night. It was early in the morning. We were somewhere eating for free, like we always did. And Kevin at the end of the table just talking. And I was tired. I can't say hungover because I didn't drink. But I just got tired of hearing him talk. I asked him to shut up, and I hit him in the mouth.
Did he shut up?
He shut up for a little while. We thought it was over. And then about minutes into our lunch we were eating, he stood up and said, I saw he hit me. I'm like, dude, this was 5 minutes ago. So next thing you know, and it become a fight. And somebody pulled me off of him. I don't know. Yeah, it did.
Did you tear up the restaurant?
No, it did. No.
No, we banned for coming in there.
Yeah.
No, we go in there.
Yeah.
But legally, you said shut up first. And
I
then
did.
hit him in the mouth. Did he shut up or did you hit him out before he had to dance?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought it was over. He shut up and sat back down. We thought it was all good.
Well, for all you people who don't know, Terry Tatum is an attorney.
Right.
Okay? For all you people that don't know, Terry Tatum is an attorney. Okay?
No, I'm a defense attorney. I would never prosecute anybody. Okay.
Yeah, never.
I would never do it. I couldn't do it. I'm not built that way. So,
I was going to say, that's something that you decided once you got out of law school, you passed the bar, that was something that you set on that you were not going to prosecute. You were defensive the whole way.
Actually, when I got out of law school, when I went to law school, my focus was going to be I was going to be a corporate raider. Going to do buy and sell, and that kind of meant that supreme kind of money. But in law, things happen to change your career, and there were some things that happened, and I saw how bad the system did poor people because I was done that way, and I figured I'm a trained attorney and the system tried to screw over, then normal people don't have a chance. So that's kind of found my calling doing criminal defense, and it's a thankless job most of the time. A lot of people don't even take a thank you, but I don't do it for them anyway. I consider myself as a guardian of the system. Okay, the system says that you're entitled to an attorney and that everyone is innocent unless you're proven guilty, and I'm there to make sure that they do the job. That's all.
That's cool, man.
So basically, what you're saying is everybody here at the table, if any of us get in trouble, first guy we're calling is this guy. Get bail bonds. Get him out.
I got him on speed dial.
We can talk to Marshall. He can get us out, and then Terry, you can get us.
No, that's absolutely inaccurate.
Okay.
The first person to call is me. Okay. I'm the first person to call. I would contact Marshall to make sure we get you out.
I agree. I like it when they call me with an attorney already in pocket.
Yeah.
That makes my job a lot easier.
The first person to call is me. Then I'm going to hook up Marshall so we can get you whatever you in. But you call your lawyer first, okay? And like I said, I have some people got me on speed dial right now. Okay, they know. Call me first.
I didn't realize this is going to turn into a law lesson.
$100, Jason.
Exactly.
$100. Consultation, first consultation.
So that means the next time Limbo and I go out, you got me covered.
I'm gonna be out tonight, so somebody need to come get me because I do not want to call Terry Tatum or Marshall Foreman. So I'm gonna lift or do something else, but I will not be driving around here in Fayetteville. Somebody come get me.
Where you gonna be, Lumbo? Where you gonna party at tonight?
Can we say?
Can we say?
We'll be out on the mark tonight.
Oh, again. Hey, I tell you what, I like Torchys. I like Torchys Taco. This is an establishment. It's my first time here, and I've always walked around and checked out some of the amenities and some of the things around. It's a very nice place.
It's a pretty good walk too, because Marshall and we would do the pregame show. He cut out, I pack up, and then I just walk right up the hill. So it's not that bad.
No, it's right there. I'm looking at the stadium right here. Yeah, the stadium right here.
But it's nice. I'm not gonna lie, they have a great placement here. They have this place here in Fayetteville, and also got the one in Rogers off Paul and Whitaker, and so it makes it's really nice. I was hoping we'd see some Hogville guys up here today. I was talking to them. I think that with the spring game getting canceled, I think they're taking the weekend off.
They soft just like the players. Get a little water.
Wait, hold on.
Like I see it. I call it like I see it.
And
If it ain't thunder and lightning, you're practicing. A little bit of rain, not cold.
he said soft.
He called him soft.
He called him soft.
I'm just saying.
We practice in thunder and lightning too now.
Well, not with Lou, because if it's lightning with Lou, Lou would run to the house, dude. If it was lightning, everything was canceled. But we be inside.
Before the first strike, though, we'll be out there up until that first strike of lightning.
Yeah.
But I remember Lou telling either you or Donnie one of them that he hoped y'all got struck by lightning because y'all ran the wrong route on a pass, and we were trying to get the pass scale done before we went inside, and y'all ran the wrong route. He said, I hope you get struck by lightning. I remember Lou saying that, okay?
That's out there. That just goes to say we wasn't very smart back then. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh no. We did what we were told. I mean, and we didn't have the luxury of having to be able to negotiate like these kids got to do now. Okay?
There you go.
Wait a minute now. Speaking of practicing and lightning, coming from JUCO, I went to my coach Dick Foster and said, "Coach, you had us out there practicing in lightning and thunder and everything, and we never came in. We can't do that now." He said, "Did you get hurt?" I said, "No." "Well, you okay then?" So, I mean, that's the way it was back then.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Huh? You put me on the spot?
I'm putting you on the spot. I know that you had a great run here when you were at Arkansas, but I mean, do you feel kind of targeted from some of these guys sometimes?
A target?
You feel targeted from some of these
Yeah,
guys?
always. Always. I mean, they're my target too.
But you see what number you got on, right?
Yeah. Hey, but no, seriously, while we were playing, the defensive backs that in the locker room, I mean, I would go ballistic on. I'm gonna take you today, Kevin Anderson. I'm gonna bake you today. Coach better not put you on me today. I'm gonna tear you up. So it was that kind of target where, and say one day I'm gonna say, I'm going at Charles Washington. I want Chuck. You know what I'm saying? And it was the competition of just getting on the field and competing against one another, especially like when it comes to the running, the sprints after practice, the sprint workouts. I pride myself and try to be at least one in first, second place. I mean, Bobby Joe would beat me quite a bit on those sprints. And when Derrick Russell came, Derrick Russell was kind of lazy when he first got here, but once he kind of got in the groove, he understood the work ethic, so he started working hard in practice. But when Derrick first got in, he wasn't a practice player at all. But I would say probably about within a month he started practice. So the competition within the group, within the receiving crew, and then it goes to the defensive backs, and then we go to the linebackers and stuff like that. That's why I approached the game.
Was there somebody when you guys were playing in the Southwest Conference? Was there a certain guy that if you had to line up against him, it was going to be a long day?
Well, my first year, of course, Marcia Cade and Jerry Gray at the University of Texas. After that, there's a big guy, Thornton down at the University of Houston, free safety number 1. He's a big free safety, about 6'2", 6'3". He's a big guy. I know he was going to be a tough. Francis. Yeah, the Everett boys. Yeah. The two Everett guys. They were good. But other than that, like in the Southwest Conference, I didn't really look at that. Now, Benny Blaze, when we played with Miami, those guys, and we played OU. OU had a couple studs. Dickerson, some guy at Dallas, and
Sonny Brown.
Vickers. Yeah. So, I just go ahead. I watch the film, study the player, but my game plan doesn't change, because game plan is game plan, especially when Lou Holtz was great. It was beautiful, because you change the game plan every week. You have a book every week to study. You know what I mean? So the game plan changed every week. The plays changed every week. The play, everything changed week after week. When Hatfield got here, it was just bland. It was bland offense.
What was it?
It was bland. BLAND.
Bland.
Hell, maybe you had too many Bloody Marys.
No, look.
Tomato juice.
I must have CTE because I don't remember nobody. None of the defensive guys. I don't remember nobody. Linebackers or defensive linemen. I don't remember none of them.
That's the life of a running back.
We don't remember. Nobody.
I'm dead serious.
I mean,
y'all remember that stuff and y'all ready to party after the game? We're beat up and trying to find somehow to heal
a tub.
But that's the life of a running back. We don't remember much.
The only lineman I remember was the Jerry Ball for the music. That's the only lineman I can think of that I remember off the top of my head.
You have to pick for Texas. What was his name?
Right? No. Hagerman?
The
Great?
Was it the Great?
Yeah.
Great.
No, that was A&M.
That
was A&M.
Yeah, I can't remember none of them.
Texas had one too that was really
I remember
good.
none of them guys.
Yeah.
I don't remember none of them.
I remember Ray Childress very well.
That was A&M.
That was
Okay.
That was A&M because he snatched me off the ground by my shoulder pads and wanted to whip me.
But he's from Texas, correct? Where's he from? Dallas area?
I don't know what area he's from, but he played at A&M. I think it was either Limbo or one of my offensive linemen grabbed me after he grabbed me.
That's probably Marcus Elliott. I was up there. I was brought up into that phone.
Hey,
that game.
The only other person I remember is Freddie Joe Nunn from Ole Miss. And I remember, only reason I remember him because on the very first day of the game, I was supposed to come out and stalk block him and keep him because we were going to run a pass play. What's the name? Hatfield called a pass play the first play of the game against him. I was supposed to come out and stalk block. This dude's an All-American defensive end. I'm supposed to stalk block him. He got me about 50 pounds. So I ran out there and first over here, in the mouth, trying to kill him on the first play. So I was like, look, we might as well hit the tone now. So I was supposed to stalk block him, but I went out to hit him dead on his chin, man, just hit the tone. That one back. Okay, now good, Marcy. Y'all can handle it now.
So what you're saying? You pissed him off to get it.
Pissed him off
So
in the very first play. Okay.
Yeah.
Pissed him off the
For
very
you,
first
for
play.
you that don't know, stock blocking means
Stand in front
stand
of
in front of him, and if he tries to come forward, then take him. Yeah, went out and pissed him off at the back. We get it.
Try to get him the first shot. My dad said, "Don't tell. I ain't taking that first lick. Okay, I'm gonna pass it first." Okay? Yeah.
So this Razorback team has got an opportunity to go down to Austin next year. It's going to be a pretty tough schedule. You got Notre Dame coming here as well, but Arkansas going down to Texas. How sweet would that be, not only for them, but for the Razorback alumni that played here, for this team to go down there and hopefully whip some Longhorn tail?
What was that, 85 the last time we beat them down there?
I think it was later than that
86.
because
86.
Oh, was that 86?
86.
86.
I would say here.
Okay.
5 field goal.
86, you're right.
I've been there 4 years, never beat the Longhorns.
I
Beat
know.
everybody else,
We-
never beat the Longhorns.
We saw you in the stands at, was it 86, 87 season,
I think
86?
it was, yeah. I think I got into a fight. Don't even remember.
You did.
You did. The fight. Don't even get into the fight.
Yeah. 85, we lost here on 5 field goals. They didn't score a touchdown.
That's right. Greg Horn missed 5. They made 5.
No.
Greg Horn,
He's 3.
No. He missed more than 3.
He missed 3.
He missed more
He
than
missed
3.
more than 3.
He missed more than 3.
Hey, somebody look it up.
Somebody put it up.
He missed more than 3.
He missed 3 and 1.
I'm telling you,
Because that week, all the top 5 schools lost, and so if we would have won, we'd have been number 1 for that week.
And hey, okay, check this out.
Go ahead.
Okay. If you guys remember, we pretty much dominated the first half. The first half of that game, we dominated. Okay, right before the half, it was a pass play.
To you. You was in bounds. Bound by the goal line.
Yeah, so when they had my feet, the camera showed the water coming up.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Pitch was in the paper and they called it incomplete.
Right, and that would have put us in going into the half
Yes. Winning. Yes.
with the momentum with a big lead. And Horn kept missing those field goals.
honestly, it wasn't his fault.
No, I'm not blaming him.
Because we had a kicker on the side that could have made every last one of those field goals.
Which one? Franklin or
Ernie. Ernie should have been the kicker at that point.
Ernie wasn't here then.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Ernie was here on the sideline.
So is he? He was Brad.
Yeah. Ernie came in with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Ernie was here.
Was it 3?
Say you sorry.
I apologize.
Hey man, I put Horn out there. Let Greg make it, man.
But it was.
Warm-ups.
Oh, okay.
He didn't make none in warm-up either.
I ain't got nothing to say. You know what? Team game, I could have blocked better, could have done more stuff better. So it's just, you know what? We should never have been put in the position for them to be that close.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, never been in a position to where we have a kicker out there kicking that shouldn't have been kicking.
There's always favoritism.
Ernie should have been out there kicking the ball. By all means.
Exactly.
He was a better kicker at that time.
Exactly.
I'm not going to question that. I'm not going to question that. But, you know,
And the ball did tight end. He was always open.
We had tight ends on that team.
hey, tight ends, Coach Turner, he used to coach a bunch of ghosts. They were ghosts because they was gone in the game. You never saw them. I don't know what they was out for.
What, the tight end?
It's getting personal.
Well, they were blocked. Yeah, they were blocked.
Hey, glorifying extra offensive lineman on the line.
Played every down.
Yeah, as an extra tackle.
Hey, I know it's all fun and joking, but we had two of the best tight ends
Yeah,
in the league.
I believe that.
And Lou and Theo,
Theo, yeah.
them cats could play.
Yeah.
We didn't have to get them no help. They could handle it on their own. There were some players on the team we had to help
Right.
a lot, and they wasn't those guys.
Hey, with that being said, now when we played A&M, I remember Ray Childress after the game. He came up and he told me, he said, "Dude, my coach told me I was going to have about 15 sacks when we play Arkansas." Yeah. He said because they got this little bitty tight end, dude. He said you could throw around like a little rag doll. He was like, at the end of the game, he's like, dude, you're a hell of a blocker.
Yeah.
You got me one time.
Yeah. Well,
and I thought that was a little compliment from him.
When you weren't blocking, I had to go out and cut him. The first time I cut him that day, we talking. Remember, it was so cold and it was wet. Nobody. I think sometime in the second half, nobody wanted to get on the ground anymore, and I went out there and cut his big ass. He picked me up off the ground. He said, "Listen, do not bring your ass here and cut me no more." He said, "If you need to block me, come out here. You stop, I'll stop." I'm like, it works for me. Hey, I'm Billy. It was that cold. Nobody wanted to get on that turf at the point. But he was a cool dude. Ray was cool.
And that was what AstroTurf too. That was that crappy stuff.
That was that real AstroTurf.
Yeah. Unforgiving.
Unforgiving. You know what? First was a lot better than playing in the Astrodome. Y'all remember the turf? Y'all remember?
Oh my God, you're playing on the moon. There's damn craters up there. I mean, it was like playing. Take this floor and put
concrete,
and put a little carpet over it. That's what was playing. It was the world and had big old grooves in there.
Yeah,
you know, from the infield of the baseball.
And they had an NFL team that plays in that stadium every Sunday.
Yeah, it was terrible. You know, it's called the Astrodome. Yeah, it was like a dang moon crater or something. I called it the moon crater.
So basically, you guys were either playing here or in Texas. That was it, unless there was a bowl game, which you guys made.
We go to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
That was a whole different story of going there and playing.
Oh,
I mean, it was a culture shock for some of us.
I tell you what, my freshman year, I remember we lost, and did we win? I believe we won. We won, and I remember Lou Ho saying, "All the black players don't sit by the windows. Don't sit by the windows on the bus." So we all had to sit inside the inside seat instead of the window seat until we got it without range from the stadium. It was that bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then like in the hotel room, you know, for some reason we always stay in the hotel where all those Ole Miss fans were. What Ole Miss fans were. And I mean they hooping and hollering. It's almost like they were burning the cross outside. It was bad. I mean, like he was saying, I didn't go out. Once I got in my room in Ole Miss, and I was a creeper in time. I get out at different places.
No, not you.
but the Ole Miss, I wouldn't.
Yes, he would get out. We had to go look for him. Make sure he was supposed to be. He would. Not in Mississippi. He was where he was at. The bed was there. He was in it.
Houston, Dallas.
Oh, like when we played Texas before the game. Remember my dad brought that brand new Park Avenue, and he let me drive it, and we drove on campus, and that's the first time I seen somebody in the student union drinking beer. So me and Donnie said, let's get a beer.
Why not?
Yeah. Game ain't till 4, 5, 6 hours away.
Good idea, son. Good idea to me.
Hold on, I got a question. Hey, was it Texas or Texas A&M? We were there playing a game, pregame meal. There was rum cake with rum in the cake.
Hold on. You got to get the whole story though. So,
Okay,
so
give it to me.
of course back then, the hotels had your keys that you get into your room with, and so when you go to your desk, you go to the hotel desk. They give you the envelope. The envelope has a key in it. In the envelope at Texas, it had a Band-Aid in the envelope that had the Longhorn logo on it. And I'm like, well, what is this for? For y'all to put on your wounds when we whoop y'all butt. Right? But they didn't put it and say it like that. So then we sat down, we get ready to eat dinner. Dinner is always pregame, is always a steak. It came out bloody red. So he was like, Lou was like, send it back. Don't nobody eat it. Okay. So it's all right, well, forget it. They brought them back. Then they burned them all. They was charbroiled. So then they sent those back. And he said, all right, bring out dessert. When they brought out dessert, you could smell the rum in that cake. because it was like warm raisin cake. And he's like, don't eat. They go, Mike Erie, I'll take everybody's. And you don't nothing. Nobody touched that cake.
Oh, we got to tell that story in '85 after we beat the first game was at Ole Miss.
Oh man.
And then all of a sudden we started having a bunch of DWIs and people getting caught with, beers and stuff and getting suspended. Well, that went on for like 3 weeks. I'm not going to say the players. But we were playing TCU and we were down players. We had not been in full force since the first week. And this is like the fifth game or fourth game. And TCU was walking up the side over there in the locker room. And fan from TCU yelled over, "Hey, Razorbacks, you want a drink?" And I yelled up, "Yeah, man, throw it down." And Coach Ake was behind me. I see where your damn mind is, Limbo. I said, "Go drink now."
I just said we're going to drink it.
So I got to ask you guys, how was the fish fry last night?
Oh, man. I'm still full from that. But
Who was first?
Limbo. Limbo's first one in line. Text me. He texted me. He's like, "Are you here?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here. Where you at?" I'll be there in a minute. I walk indoors. He's the first one in line.
I ain't too proud. I mean, everybody was standing around. They said, "Go eat." I was standing there. I was trying to let people go. They weren't moving. And one guy said, "Well, I'm not bashful." I said, "Well, I'm going to go right behind
Wasn't
you."
the women there?
Well,
Well, you supposed to let women go first, I
I was
thought.
trying to let them go, but it wasn't moving fast.
You didn't tell them, you didn't say nothing about. You stood your ass right there in their face and then
I moved.
thank you, because you wanted to be first.
Always.
No. Well, seriously, I got here a little late. I had called Limbo. You were just leaving, right? Yeah, Limbo was just leaving when I got here. So what they had fish and coleslaw. It was free.
It's always free.
I like free.
It's always free.
I love free.
I don't know that hates free.
That's the only time I eat.
Y'all do know that's Donnie Center saying on a Walmart commercial.
That's right. Oh, you
That's
have
Donnie Center.
You see my commercial? Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, tell them how much you got for that.
Well,
It was a national commercial. National.
I got a $500 gift card. hey, y'all laughing. But that $500 gift card came in handy because I had just got out. I had been incarcerated, just got out. I had been out 30 days. I hadn't been out 30 days. So when I get back with my wife at the time, hey, man, that $500 I can go buy electricity.
You know, Walmart's a billion-dollar corporation.
You ever see? But it was a subsidiary. It wasn't Walmart themselves. The production company, another deal. But they're not going to give you royalties on it. You're not going to get the royalties commercial.
Hey, okay. We have a teammate that worked there, and I went and said, "You know what? I had a player that did a commercial. He gets royalties every time it comes on, and I showed him your commercial. I said, how much would you get for a national commercial like this?" He said, "At least $800 every time it was shown."
Yeah, and see,
Hold on, let me see. I went and told our teammate that they full of crap. You know what he told me?
What's that?
Donnie didn't have to do it.
And he's right.
And he said, you know what he said? Somebody else would have done it. And you know what I said?
What?
My daddy said,
What?
There's a fool born every day.
Every day. Well, like my daddy said, he says a fool born every second. You know, man.
I got one question. Who was the lawyer to negotiate that deal?
Where are you looking at? Hey, I'm a lawyer. I represented and I promoted myself, and I had a great time. I had a makeup artist and sat back in the makeup room. They powdered my face and all kind of good things. Hey, man, so I wasn't mad at all.
You saying you wasn't shining?
No, wasn't shining. I mean, they powdered my face now. I feel like I was a movie star. You know.
All right, since we bring up old times, I know Limbo wasn't here yet, but who went? Was it? Did any of y'all? I know you were there on this camping trip with Doug Greenlee.
When they stopped us, when the police stopped us,
They might have stopped y'all. I don't know if they did not. But no, we were here for it was in the spring. We all loaded up. Doug Grannon said they had a cabin in the woods somewhere, and you didn't go.
I'm pretty wet.
Yeah,
But
I'm pretty sure you were there. Marcus Elliott went. Elliott went. Zen went. Let's see. It was probably about 15 of us. I was just wondering if any of you guys. And I thought you were there.
I may have been. I don't feel.
We get there. We have to park on the other side of the creek because the truck couldn't get through the creek. I'm carrying a battery up this damn mountain in the middle of the night. Can't see anything. After walking for about 45 minutes, we get there. He say, all right, well, there it is. We're looking for a damn cabin. It's something that they put up in a day. Dirt floor.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sleeping bag, I'm sure.
No, we didn't bring no sleeping bags. We didn't even bring water or anything else.
Never beer.
The drinkers, you're exactly right. That's all they brought was beer. So before the night was over, I guarantee we had at least 10 fires going out here. People build their own fires trying to stay warm, and
yeah,
I'm like, what were we thinking? You wasn't there. We couldn't get you. We thought we were big time, and we had some upperclassmen with us with Bert and Marcus.
I didn't know about it, but I didn't.
You regret it. Yeah. Hey, I'm telling you, by 5 o'clock in the morning, you were really thirsty because we had no water up there. We drinking water out the creek on the way down, just to get something in us. Yeah, it was bad.
So y'all was the first episode of Naked and Free.
Yeah. Yes. There was no naked, but we were afraid. Yeah. We did some crazy stuff back then. But that was my first camping trip.
Yeah.
Ever.
We was on one.
I think that was my last camping trip.
Well, I don't know. We was on that one. It's quite a few of us. And the police, we had went to the liquor store. We had that Bronco, the Bronco. We had it sung on, filled up. And the law pulled us over and found out who we were. He said, okay, I'm going to tell y'all pull all that out. All us underage. You pull all that out. And let y'all go. Well, I mean, that was hard. That was hard to say. We put it out.
Talking about hard, I have a question for you.
Yeah. I mean, how can we stash a bottle? How can we stash that for everything?
I want to know how in the hell y'all turn a vehicle over off the railroad track.
What, Rock? You tell me something I don't know.
Hey, I was talking to Donnie the other day. Going down the street, Garland. Right there where you make that right to go on Weddington, you either go right or go straight. That pole right there, that island, Donnie smacked that thing right in the middle of the damn pole. I drove past, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Donnie out there looking at the dang dent. I pull up and stop. You all right? Yeah, just got it. Brakes went out. Ain't no damn brakes went out.
They really did. Wasn't ice in that damn song?
No, there wasn't no ice out there. Nothing out there. All I know is I stopped. I said, why are you standing out here? You got your breath kind of smell like a little alcohol on it. I'll be okay. So next morning, woke up, Donnie was shining up that big old dent on his car, shining it up, making it look real good.
Yeah, because that really.
It was that blue Cutlass you had.
Actually, that was Grand Prix. Grand Prix, yeah. Those brakes went out, man.
Yeah, you tell everybody. I got to tell your dad something. I had to tell him something.
He didn't believe me either.
But since we're talking about the police, so was it me or did they didn't arrest us for anything? No. They found out to play football. They was like, go back to the dorm. If I see you back out the dorm, I'm gonna tell coach. Yeah, nobody went to jail then. No matter what you did, it seemed like it.
I mean, unless you got to go down and rob a bank or something, they can't do nothing about that.
But didn't somebody steal a laundry truck or something and crash it into a tree or something like that?
Oh, I remember somebody taking something and was driving it around, and real.
I remember someone stealing a goat and bringing it back to his room.
What you doing with that goat?
But no, hold on. That wasn't done. Y'all don't remember Raven bringing that goat back to the dorm? Stayed in the dorm for about 2 days. A live goat. Yeah.
Where did Raven get a goat
from one of the sorority houses? They were Russian. And they had a goat. Yeah.
Tell them about the cheese up there reading.
I don't know about that.
I didn't.
They were barbecuing out there on the balcony up there in Reed Hall up on the hill
with live chicken.
Well, they was barbecuing. They was walking. Bobby Joe,
like Serrano or somebody.
Bobby Joe and Wyatt was going in and out. They was barbecuing on the ledge. They're like on the 8th floor. You know, they wanted to see if the chickens could fly. They threw out the window. But they didn't fly. No, they didn't make it. Peter would have been upset.
I do have a question since Jason's not asking any. Hey, no, honestly.
Well, I'm sorry.
Without
your broad shoulders having to carry the lower kids.
No, whatever. Honestly, all four of you guys, if you played in today's game, if you were playing right now with the way everything is going on, is there anything different y'all would have done? Or would you approach it a different way?
Oh, of course I would. I mean, number one, I would be better prepared. You know, I wouldn't lollygag around like I did a lot when I was playing. I would study the game a lot harder. I would negotiate for myself better. I would represent, you know, for instance, just like the things I didn't say, I would say now. I was kind of, I would say, passive with Hatfield.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have worked for you.
Oh,
you mean today? And today, you're right.
In today's game. No, back then it wouldn't work because I had no representation.
Okay, well, I mean, you brought up Hatfield, so I said Hatfield wouldn't be the coach in today's game. So
right.
He wouldn't make it in today's game because players can question what he does.
Right. So that's what I would have done different. You know, first I would take care of myself better. That's what I'm saying. Then the things that I felt were wrong, and there were a lot that I felt was wrong with the system with Hatfield and myself. And not just myself, I saw how he treated a lot of players, especially as players were, because we were not his people. Even y'all, even he didn't. Matter of fact, when it's you, Theo Young, Carl Bradford, Eric Whitted, I think y'all is 6 that made it all the way through. He still shredded us out way back with Joey Shields, Mitchell, Curtis Digger, King Anderson.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, his coaching staff couldn't coach that type of players.
Right.
I mean, they couldn't coach Joey Shields. They couldn't coach what's the Monroe. They couldn't coach Clint Wilson. They couldn't coach those kind of guys.
Right.
They had to get rid of
them. But Donnie, do you know the kind of money that you could get in today's game if you was in our starting freshman right now?
Yeah. I look at the numbers he's making. It's crazy.
Life changing money.
Yeah.
The money generational money that you could get right now for the talent that you had to play in this game right now.
Right.
Life changing.
Right.
Life changing money. And these kids that are getting that kind of money now, I don't think they're as good as you back then. But just think about the kind of money you could get.
I understand. And those are just opportunities that you know, they're saying like it's just an era that we come up in.
Well, that's part of the problem though, because those kids have been without. See, we understand we didn't have nothing to start with. So if they came up to, hey, we'll give you this, we've been happy to take it. These kids now have never been without. So now you can say, I don't want 1 million, I want 3 million. If I don't get 3 million, I'm gonna leave.
Right. Just like Nico from Tennessee.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He's never been without. So Nico didn't have no problem saying, I want more money because he's never been without. Okay, he didn't get $8. He didn't get $25 every 2 weeks. Okay? If he started right there, He said, "Oh, I take whatever y'all give me. I'm cool with it. I wasn't getting nothing to begin with." So that's the problem with these kids now. They've never been without. So that's why I'm right now. I'm not mad at them for doing it because they deserve to get whatever they can get. Okay, because the NCAA had a chance a long time ago, 45 years ago, when we played, when we were freshmen, they could have made it right then. Say, hey, listen, we're gonna share some of this money with you players because we know we're making a crap load of it. And the only person getting paid is Lou Holtz. He getting paid by the university. He getting paid by Nike because Nike getting money to make us all wear the Nike stuff. Y'all remember we used to set our shoes up. It came, hey man, y'all covered up that Nike, y'all covered that logo up. Y'all covered that logo up there. They don't know y'all wearing Nike. Y'all gotta draw that swoop back in.
They had to spray it. They had a little spray thing sitting on it, spray it on there. Now, you talking about like today's game now. This is where myself, I would love to play for a person like Coach Pittman because I think all of us are loyal to the state. I don't think, and even though, we're not rich men, we ain't never going to be rich, and we never probably don't see $1 million or nothing. But
Speak for yourself.
Sound like them boy done gave up.
But, okay, just in case, I'm going to play for the University of Arkansas. I'm not going to be one of these guys jumping from 5 schools in 5 years looking for a better deal. You know what? I mean, come back because I love you guys. I love my teammates. When I was at Coffee, I go to Coffeeville because I love my Coffeeville teammates. You give me something here. And like you said, Catfield could not match in this area. Because he had all the power back then.
Right.
All the power. Because I'm sure you would have left, and you would have left.
I should have left. I did too. I should have went with Lou.
I did.
I had the opportunity to, but I was like,
and that's what I'm saying because I remember I got into a little altercation with my offensive line coach. And I thought I knew I was right. Because I'm not that one to cause problems or was in trouble. And I knew I was right. His offensive line coach was wrong. So he tells me my butt gonna be back in Kansas City pumping gas. There's nothing wrong with pumping gas. It's an honorable profession. I'm fine. The Limbo Parks will never do it. And you know why? Because you said I was gonna do it. And I'd be damned if I let someone tell me what I was gonna dictate and do. And at the end of the day, that's something that stuck with me all my life. And it drove me to try to be a better person just because you said I was going to do this. And I said, I'd be damned if I do that.
mm-hmm.
And like I said, Coach Pittman was my coach. Man, I don't know what I mean. I run through a brick wall for him. My coach at Coffeeville, when he had his funeral, if I had to walk with my hands and knees to his funeral, wherever I was going. That's how much I love, and I don't think that's loyalty to these guys. I just don't believe it.
I don't know if these kids have figured out, and chasing the money is okay. Fine, chase the money if that's as far as you think you're going. Right. Because when you go to college and you pick that college, it's because that college is best for you to get to the next level, meaning to make real money. And most of these kids don't realize that. And if this is the best situation, University of Arkansas, I came here because this is my best situation to make it to the NFL. You know what? I'm going to take less money to stay here because I know I'm going to make it to this next money here. So I'm not going to chase this money right now. But most of them don't realize that they're just chasing money right now.
Because right now, they're playing for necklaces and cars. In the NFL, you're playing for mortgages. It's a difference. These guys, they're playing for look, NFL, you're playing for mortgages and stuff.
But it's a lot different now. These kids, a lot of them who are never going to play in the NFL are making a lot more money now than they would have. Even if you could have been like a 4th round, 5th round guy, you could come back to college and make more money. And so the perspective is so warped right now with these kids. And I need to get what I need to get now because I don't know if that paycheck comes
Well, exactly.
from the league. And
I'm not mad.
you know what I mean?
I'm not mad at those kids.
No, sure. I'm just saying
those
that's how.
elite ones that know they're gonna go. If this is the
Yeah.
best place for you to be, stay at that place and not chase this money right now because you might not touch the playing field again at this next school, or your stock may go way down because you went to the wrong school. There you go.
We could open that box of worms.
Yeah.
Well, let's open it then. Don't open it. Don't open it up.
No, I think we bring up KJ, and I think with KJ, you had a kid who came in here, Chad Morris, as a freshman. NIL was not a thing, and really had some raw talent. Really had some raw talent out of high school. Had a knee injury. Had a brace on his whole senior year of high school. Then he comes here and he develops. And you get NIL, and now you're coming back, and you're supposed to be one of the most experienced quarterbacks in the SEC. You're given a KJ Jefferson. You're given a brand new car. You're walking around with a Louis Vuitton bag. You've got designer suits on when you're walking through the hog walk. Yeah. But the results are on the football field. What happens is you create divides in the locker room, and that's what happened with KJ. I think, lost sight of what was important, and it got a little bit out of hand, I think.
I also think, too, that people in his camp were in his ear telling him, this is probably the most money that you may make for the life. And this is what you have to do, is you have to capitalize now. I think that to some point, I think that's also in a lot of these other players' ears, too, is that you have to get as much money as you can right now. Because in 3 years, there is no guarantee. The only guarantee is what's happening right now.
Sometimes you have to plan for that next level. You can't live for today every day. You got to plan for tomorrow. And know they have a good chance of going to the NFL. You need to plan for the NFL and stop planning for just making this money in college. So, I mean, I take the best situation. As far as the KJ thing, my opinion on KJ ended up in a spot where he stayed long enough to learn the system. And it takes him a while to learn the system. He has all the athletic talent in the world, but he don't pick up the system very quick. So he was here long enough to pick up the system, and it started working pretty good for him. For him to up and leave, or whoever his people are to let him leave to a whole new offensive coordinator, that was never going to be good because he can't pick a system up in one off season.
But I also think I think Arkansas and KJ needed a break too. Like, I really think that after, 5 years, people aren't even in romantic relationships that long.
Oh, I agree with you. But you know,
they need to break up.
No, I agree with you. But you know where he should have went? He should have followed the offensive coordinator that left here.
Yeah. And go to TCU.
And that's where he went. Same offensive coordinator, because when KJ has to think about stuff like that, it didn't work great for him.
I think Gus Malzahn realized that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You go down to UCF, and it was too much.
Yeah, it was too much. I mean,
yeah, he was one of those guys that you have to not think, you just react. And I don't want to say that about Taylor Green, but got to see how this second year with Bobby Petrino is, because I felt like, and Marco, you and I have talked about this at length, that he is more of a react guy. He's not a read guy. And so that's what Bobby's got to do, is put Taylor in that best spot for Arkansas to be at least somewhat successful this season, because if he doesn't, we're going to see basically a 2.0 this season of what happened last year.
I think the game started to slow down for him later on in the year, though. There was a lot going on. You're transferring from Boise State, and you're having Bobby Petrino try to teach you this offense that's very complicated. And the thing with Taylor is, because he was so good at improvising, he almost jumped too soon, and it worked sometimes, but then it didn't work at other times when it would be like there's a guy wide open and he just took off running too fast. That he just has to let the game slow down, and it has. And so I'm interested. But he's got two guys behind him in KJ and Madden who could easily step in as a senior or as a redshirt freshman and a freshman. So we'll see what happens.
You know, I watched him all season, and I watched Bobby deal with this kid with just
Kid gloves?
Yes, with kid gloves. Because if you watch him, and a defense player, I know y'all have played defense at some point. When you see that expression change on someone's face, you know you got them beat. You can see that a mile away with Green. Whenever something's not going good, his whole expression changes, and he very seldom comes back from that game. What I did see in the bowl game, I saw Bobby get in his ass, and he come out the second half look like a whole different person. I think Bobby knew that, you know what, I can do it now because there's tomorrow. There's no game tomorrow. Well, now he knows what works.
But I think that the whole key to coaching is knowing and understanding your players. Okay, because the same thing doesn't inspire every player. I mean, Lucas was a big rah-rah, yelling, screaming guy. I didn't need that. I was already inspired. I wanted to practice. I wanted to get better. I wanted to play. So I didn't need all the yelling, screaming, rah-rah stuff. Okay? When Hatfield came in, he was a little bit more positive. Didn't know how much of a snake he was, but he was a little bit more positive as a coach. Which and within the offense that I thought, okay, look, I'm gonna touch the ball. This is what I want to do. Okay, so if you don't know your parents, I have 3 sons, and I have my middle son is a kid that, man, if you pat him on the back, hey, look, man, I need you. I mean, don't let me down. Get it. He'll break his leg to get it done. My youngest son, you piss him off, he gonna do it and do it anyway, man. Just get him mad. You just get him mad. Look, man, will you please shut that woman up over there? You don't go out there hit a triple and just to do it, just to shut somebody up. I mean, that's how he is. Okay, so you have to know who you're addressing, who you're coaching, and you can't think you can coach them the same way. So if you're gonna look at a Green and say, okay, what is his strengths, and how can I make my offense his strength? Or I'm gonna say, this is my offense. You gotta adjust and do it. You can't do that.
Can't do that
unless you're recruiting a specific guy for your offense. You bring in a kid that was at Boise and he had all this talent, can do all these different things, but you have to use what his strengths are in your offense, as opposed to just saying, "Hey, this is my offense. You got to fit. You got to fit my offense." And that's how that's.
Well, here's the thing too, and me coming from JUCO, I understand him coming in from Boise, learning a new system. It takes a minute. Okay, it takes a minute. So. First semester, you remember when I came in here, some of y'all, Coach Hatfield put me at the table, fat to be a hog at lunch. Remember that? You know, I mean, it was very frustrating that first semester, getting yelled at for something that wasn't catching on some things and getting screamed and hollered at. Okay, but when I came back in the fall, it all started coming together, and I think that's going to come with Kelly. He's going to. It's going to be more natural to him now. So, you know, as long as I'm happy that Bob's back, because it's going to be for him a better fit. It's going to be more natural, because now his athleticism is really going to shine because he knows what he's doing.
I agree. Hey, Limbo, let me just say this, man. At least your coach said something to you. Okay? I won just whatever. I just didn't play. Didn't say nothing to me. Didn't tell me why I wasn't playing. I just didn't play. Yeah. So he just never said it.
I think y'all intimidate y'all's players, y'all's coach, because y'all knew more than he did. I don't think y'all. I don't think y'all player in the backfield didn't know more than he did. So
well, he gets along for the ride.
Kobe Smith.
Yeah. Talked to him yesterday, man. Super nice guy, and he kind of understands. So he understands the running back position and how to motivate his running backs, man. And that's something we didn't have, man. We didn't have it. They never had that. Had no ability to remember. Had no ability to motivate nobody to do anything.
Tatum, where did he brace off?
I always hated when the coach tell me put your game face on. And I'm going, I don't know what that is. I'm ready to play the game. What is a game face? I never understood that.
This is my college roommate, and we came to practice ready to have fun in practice, okay? And we would talk more smack in practice, just fucking with everybody else out there, okay? And Coach Goldstein hated it because he's like, man, you and Luther talk more shit than anybody else on the field. I said, man, we just enjoy playing the game.
They think just because we're out having fun telling, we're not getting prepared for the game, but that's the way we practice. I've been that all through high school. I was that way, and my coach knew that. I would have defense coach that come over there and holler at me and stuff, and the head coach come over again. No, leave him alone. That's the way he practiced. That's the way he plays. Leave him alone.
Well,
Let him do it.
I tell you this, like when I was coaching in high school, we had some teams that was just loosey goosey,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden, it's a big game. They go out there, beat the dog shit out. So other teams that was real tense and all, they go out there and look like crap. So it's hey, let them do what they got to do, whatever they do to get themselves ready.
Do all I remember that movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy?
Oh, yeah.
So Luther would be out there and he run a play and he'd make a great catch. I'd be like, looking good, Luther. and he'd come back with, sitting good, Terry. And then I'm saying my head put up against they would hate it. Okay, we out there having a good time.
I've got a question for you, Alyssa. Oh yeah. When you were getting you did a lot of travel softball,
I did.
what was one thing you did that would prepare yourself for each game?
You really want the answer?
Yeah, I do.
No, it's Twizzlers and orange Gatorade. No, I didn't really have a pregame routine. I just had that super. Like I had to have Twizzlers and orange Gatorade, and then when I was playing, we had those Walkman CD players. So I always had my Walkman CD player, my headphones. There was a CD in there, so
Okay. You're not that old to have a Walkman.
yes, I did. I did.
So what's the go-to song?
Well, I had Matchbox 20 usually in my Walkman. I'd sit out in the stand. I would listen to some music, but that was it. I didn't really have a routine. Yeah, I just it was game time. And you just showed up and you played. I didn't need this I need 15 minutes of mental preparation, and I would sit to I wasn't one of those players either.
I think that you see with the younger generation, they have to have like their own little space, their own little moment.
Yeah.
That a lot of them have to have what you were just talking about. You didn't need, but they need.
And that's
And
okay. And
yeah.
I had teammates who kind of I just need, but that wasn't, I don't know, that's much more, I think, prevalent now with a lot of these kids just to mentally, well, and I think too, there's something to be said about as much I didn't have a cell phone, right? Like we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have computers. We didn't have social media. I had that Walkman. I did. A little CD player. Y'all are hating. I don't understand.
Well, here's my thing.
But you got to shut it off, is what I'm saying. There's so much I didn't have any of that. I mean, you guys didn't have any of that. There was nothing to turn off, right? And so these guys are having to put their phones away and turn everything off, and they've been sitting there Googling their name, reading what people are saying about that. We didn't have any of that stuff. So sure, needing that space to turn your mind off makes a lot more sense now than back then.
Well, see, with me, I feel like everybody got a different way of preparing. Now, I totally dislike this music blasting in the line for a game because not everybody want to get warmed up like that, and maybe nobody ain't dealing your favor of what you want to listen to. So I believe everybody have their own little personal and get your way what you want and blast it. I don't think someone needs to have just one set of music just blasting, and nowadays it's so crazy it's not even funny. So I think everybody could. I had a problem with that because I think everybody needs to get ready to wait. They need to get ready, and you blasting your stuff over here that I don't want to listen to is not what I want to. Yeah, So just have respect for everybody's way of preparing to get. Don't infringe the way you warm up on me, and that's how I feel.
Now we had a couple of guys that would they would go hide out in the shower You know, they just go lay on the floor, just get away from everybody.
Calm down,
They just
They got to go. They got to go.
I tell you, only you will be thinking about the nonsense like that. That's okay. I know how you live. But there was always, there was always a couple of guys that always he had to sit by the same person on the airplane and we ate and had the room with the same person. Who was the dude that wore the same socks one year because we went on a winning streak or whatever? No, that was my freshman year. Y'all weren't there yet. But one of the players wore the same socks every single game. Wouldn't change them. Wouldn't wash them.
I was going to ask you guys who had the weirdest pregame ritual that you guys may have either come across by accident or they just didn't damn whatever they were doing. They didn't care who saw it.
I just remember in 1985, we was going to exercise on the bus, and Rodney Beecham had his ghetto blaster.
It was just a matter of time. He could not resist.
Why you always got to give? Why you always got to give it?
And so the music was blasting on the bus, just loud, it's 80s rap, so I'm into it. I'm fine with it. Here come Coach Jesse Branch down the alleyway. I mean, this man's ears were red, face red, just burning because I guess he wasn't playing, Conway Twitty or something. He wasn't feeling it. He wasn't feeling it. So he turned it off. Then he promptly went out there and became ESPN famous that night.
He's talking about when Rodney got Dozier to the sideline and dumped on the bench. Yeah.
I did not bring that up.
Yeah, you did. You brought that up.
I did not bring it up.
Who brought up Rodney Beecham?
Dumbo.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to jump in real quick on that transfer portal stuff. What I'm on is 2 year, correct? It's 2 open windows where they can transfer over.
Yes.
So that means a player can actually commit to a school before they actually play a game. They can be transferred out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm wondering, when they come in, they collect X amount of dollars, possibly, maybe.
Potentially, that's where those contracts, your NIL contracts, are coming in, right? Because you have agents, you have people negotiating. There has to be something in there where it's like they might. You as the player might say, "Well, you got to pay me X amount of money or a percentage to even get to campus."
Right.
But then the school has to have some kind of, and I say the school, but NIL things have to have some kind of protection of like, if you don't even play it, like if you don't make it through the spring, we don't owe you
nothing.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
see, that's what I'm wondering.
and that's where it's just like you can't come in, collect $400 and then, or $4 million and then jump ship. Like, and that's where the big thing is right now with like Nico and these guys who are having these big time contracts. Who is responsible for that money? And the contracts are private because they're with, private entities. Mm-hmm. What are stipulations? Like, what does that mean? Like, how much money did he actually collect from Tennessee? Maybe none at all. He's just going to go shop himself around.
So the only thing Tennessee gets out there is a little publicity.
Potentially, but but Nico did play, so they have paid him NIL money for sure. But yeah, if you were to, let's say,
but he left Tennessee and went somewhere else, correct?
Yeah.
They did put a thing in there and say if you leave at X amount of time, you pay some of that money back.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they got to have some kind of guardrails there because everybody.
You have to protect both sides.
Yeah,
right?
both
the
sides.
player wants to be protected because they want something.
Right.
But then
Didn't KJ wait until he get that last check before he left?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it worked out, but it would be that's the thing. It's like,
yes, I don't.
There has to be some kind of stipulations in those contracts.
Yeah, guardrails on that because if not, I don't see how it can last. I don't see the sustainability in it. Right now, somebody got to jump in there and do something. And for the money management part of it, Trey, we talking about this about the generational wealth that these gentlemen are getting with no financial literacy. Not say none, very little. Very little financial literacy. So that money just comes in and goes like who was saying about you were saying it. I think it's one of the next about it, but they're not thinking about the house, the mortgage, the land, and things like that. Taxes. and all those beautiful things. So it need to be. I was talking to. I got a lawyer friend, a cousin actually in San Francisco. He's actually doing this Asian stuff, and I was talking to him way back when the judge in California made this ruling. I said it needs to be every institution need to have a financial institute for these children. Like we had tutoring. We had it was not.
And they do sort of, but
Yeah.
it's not.
Purpose.
I don't think it's an obligation,
Yeah.
right? Like you have resources if you want to use them,
Right.
kind of thing. But that's why I think this revenue sharing and that's continuing to go through the court system right now.
Mhm.
What that's going to mean, every player, every sport in college athletics, where it's going to be a little bit more balanced.
Mhm.
And what's going to be interesting to see, and it's a continued conversation with these players. Like, do the players become unionized? But then now you have rules, and now you have a players union, and like now you're technically an employee of whatever, which then brings in more stipulation. But then there's a lot going on right now where I guarantee you we'll be talking in 2 years. It's going to look completely different than it does.
Yeah,
Right now.
yeah. I can't see it staying the same. It's not regulated. I want less regulations, obviously,
Like the Wild Wild West.
right now.
There are no rules. There are no rules.
Yeah, so like what Rock is saying, ask the question you asked about what would it look like now, what I'm saying, in an era where I was at then. And for me personally, I thank God that I did not go to the NFL. I might have killed myself seriously, what I'm saying, with my lifestyle. And so really, at that young of an age, a person like myself is not good because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to handle all this stuff.
Because you rode hard.
Yeah, I'm very hard.
You
very
rode hard.
And I went.
Not just you. There's a lot of other players.
Yeah.
I didn't ride hard.
Yes, you did.
Now, why
Yes,
you
did,
telling these folks that I rode hard?
Limbo. You
I
was the
never
worst.
get in trouble.
Okay, because didn't get caught. You did just as much dirt, if not more than I did. You did it well. How do you know all the stories? I mean, you was there.
I was there, but you know what? I wasn't doing it. I was around. That's why. Hey, that's probably why Hatfield didn't like me.
That's like saying I didn't inhale.
That's like saying, no. That's like saying, hey, I was at every Diddy party, but I didn't do anything.
Right.
You going to jail. Just so you know.
And you got baby oil on you. Too.
Yeah. On the serious side,
It's like it's dripping off, but you didn't have the
Yeah.
bottle in your hand at the time.
my opinion on the portal, if they're going to continue to have 2 openings in the portal, one has to be about January 15th. You can't do it since the season's over. You push it to after the last bowl game. You have to do that because, these bowl games and these people that paying all this money, they're going to stop paying all this money because I'm paying all this money to see Donnie Sanders at the Cotton Bowl. And Donnie Sanders ain't going to play because the portal opened up and he decided he's transferring.
Mm-hmm.
No, you got to push that date behind. Yeah, you got to do it.
I think this is what you have to do. You have to line up the signing of these contracts with where these portals are opening and closing, because that's how you get around players jumping out before the bowl game. Because if they're going to jump out, there needs to be a penalty if they're not going to fulfill the contract as well. And I think that's where you see a lot of players are not willing to leave until the last payment hits, and then they're gone. And you have to make sure that portal opens up after that whenever that contract.
KJ do that. Did KJ do that?
I do believe so, possibly. I mean, it was rumored, Alyssa. Yeah, I mean, everything lines up like that's exactly what happened. So now you have to. Can I go in the portal until that with the window, and also the contract has to line up with the portal, so that way you can negate some of these things where these guys are willing to jump ship at any moment. Like whenever you heard about Nico, I know that he kind of addressed that situation where he was talking about holding out before that Ohio State game. He was threatening to leave. He was not wanting to. I mean,
How can you do that to your teammates?
I don't get that.
I think that's why Heupel was so quickly to move on from him too.
I mean, all the stuff that we went through, and I know, $25 every 2 weeks didn't cost for us to, say we're gonna mute me or whatever.
Sharing canned goods.
Sure. But you know what? I'm never gonna leave y'all out like that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna walk away right before, let's say it's Friday, and I'm not gonna get on the plane to go down to Texas and play because I just couldn't do that. I love the game too much. So,
But hey, I will say this, and this is because when I left here, I finished, and I'm not gonna get into the whole story of it, but I didn't finish. And so I'm sitting in Houston and sports bar, and I remember reading the ticker at the bottom of the screen, and it said anyone that played any Division I sports that did not finish were more than welcome to come back, and we would pay for your tuition and books. You just pay for your room and board. And I was like, okay. So with that being said, I'm waiting to see that same ticker saying that anyone that played Division I football or sports is going to get a check because they got all kinds of money going out. I'm saying it's a possibility. I didn't think the whole thing coming back to school did they do that to you for you.
well, I remember when I was being recruited, Ken Hatfield sat in our family room and said, however long it takes for Limbo, he's get his degree. The University of Arkansas will pay. And I said, really?
Lou said the same thing.
All right, so that is true. No.
That's the one story I was going to leave out.
No,
but I'm going to say it now then.
I'm going to say, hold up, Marshall. Frank,
that's what I'm saying.
Let me finish this. It's true. They were going to pay for it. They paid for it. So I went there and I asked Hatfield when I came back from playing my little stint in San Francisco, I want to go back to your stuff. He said, let's go talk to Frank. Went to Frank. They're going to pay for your school, not your room and board. Yeah. Okay. Well, what were we used to? Room and board. I wasn't a rocket scientist. I didn't need to have to work 60 hours down here at Campbell Soup to try to pay for rent and do this and do that. That's just setting me up to fail. That just set me up to fail because,
look, you weren't a good student already. You wasn't a good student. Setting you up to fail with 6 hours, I understand that. Go ahead. You should add that in. That I wasn't a good student either. You didn't add that in.
You weren't a good student when you was born.
That's why I dropped out.
Well, I didn't drop out. Well, no, you flunked out.
No, I never flunked out.
How many F's you get?
Oh, man, I was ineligible. I came back to summer school and got
Hey, we had astronomy class together. Remember that class we had?
Astronomy?
Yeah.
I had a B in there.
But you cheated.
Me? That's why you flunked.
No, seriously. No. We joking. But we did cheat though.
All right, Luke, you said you opened up that can of worms.
Well, he wants it. He wants to be it. Open it. Say it.
So in 85, after we got back from the Holiday Bowl, I was told to get my stuff out of the dorm, and they are taking away my scholarship. And I'm like, where am I supposed to go? Not our problem. Basically, this is Hatfield. Basically what they said. Also, I'm not going to say the coach's name, but according to him, Hatfield also said, if he comes for help, do not help him. Told all the coaches that. This coach like, nope, I'm not going to do that. He gave me some cash, had me get settled and all that stuff. But it was one of those deals where he was just like, hey, we're done with you. We won't need you anymore. So, hey, you got to go. Well, supposedly I didn't. I needed a B in this one class, and I think I got like C or something like that. And instead of saying, okay, well, you can go to summer school, you can make that, and then you'll be good to go. It didn't. He just said, well, you got to go.
And that's where the schools and the programs and the coaches had all the power, and you had no power.
Right. None.
And now you're seeing
None.
these players want to have some power and some say and
Absolutely.
a little bit of control, because you didn't have anything. You couldn't do anything. You didn't have anywhere to go. You had no control at all. And now these players, and this is where you're seeing the shift. It shifted almost too far one direction, right? But it's because of stories and situations like that where these players are now like, we have some kind of like, we need to be able to have some kind of say too.
Yeah.
And that's where that's really where that shift really started.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, there was a couple more players too, but I'm gonna let them tell their story, so I'm not gonna say their name.
Well,
but
like I said,
it wasn't just me.
After the Orange Bowl, you know, I'm not going to sit there and tell the truth. You know, I came here for 3 reasons. One of them, you know, probably what to get a degree, you know, but as I blame everything I did academically on me, because I'm the one that allowed them to set up my academic schedule and use me to stay eligible. I'm the one that allowed, which I didn't know, but then when I came back, I looked at the credits and told me I'm senior football-wise. I'm a junior credit-wise. I'm like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
I mean, that woke me up because I had no clue that I was a junior. I mean, the classes that they was trying to give me wasn't going towards a degree. And I'm a junior, but it didn't make sense.
Well, you know what woke me up? It was when I got put on the shelf my senior year, and I said I was not going to leave here with nothing. Okay, so I said I would take my degree with me, but I said I wouldn't with nothing. That's what woke me up. And I left here. I graduated that June, so by June of '86. Our last season was '85. June of '86, I graduated, and never did come back up here a handful of times in the next 20 years. Just didn't come back. So I knew that they didn't have anything for me, and I didn't have anything for them. So I didn't need them. Where I am right now today is not because from any help from the University of Arkansas. Okay, I got my degree on my own. Okay, I got everything else went from me. I got help from Frank Broyles calling the law school, saying, hey, it's a good guy, let me get into law school. None of that. None of that happened.
Well, I tell you like this, for me, in this education thing, after the fact, because see, just like Limbo was saying, when they came to the house, they were saying that we pay for your education, we do this, that. And if I'm not mistaken, it was somewhere on the contract we signed back then, they would pay for your education as long as you're accurate, especially your degree. Yeah, I'm telling you the degree. Okay, so now fast forward, after I left, after I got out of school, I didn't really care. I got into Sam Van Dyke. Okay, me and Sam Van Dyke, he had been going through some struggles as well as myself. But anyway, so I called up here to Frank Broyles now. I think Frank's still alive now. And they got a program, even now, to this day, Kevin Trainer over there. Kevin Trainer is actually our point guy. You know what I'm saying? If we want to go back to that, matter of fact, I'm up here right now dealing with like week after week right now because I got enough hours to get my degree. But what they're saying is that some of those hours or some of those classes
So when you got here in '83,
right,
that whole it didn't change. A lot of change
credit
carry over.
the credit wise.
And a lot of those records were on paper, which they don't have anymore.
Because they claim something.
Because when I came back, I knew I needed like 8 hours to get my degree, right? Well, once I got done with the academic advisor, that 8 hours turns into 32 hours that they do nowadays with a thesis.
Yeah, because I left with.
So when I came back up in '99, I didn't get done until 2002, but I did it.
And see, what she's telling me now, the lady I'm with now, what she's saying now is that I have way more than enough hours. And it's been a year now. I've been dealing with this lady and Kevin Trainer for a year with this deal. Because I told her, I said, look, why didn't you just come back up there? Like Lumbo was saying, they'll pay for your school, but then you got to figure this everything else out on your own. Which at the time,
You're not very smart.
yeah, we finally agree on something. You're absolutely right. But no, this academic thing that what I take pride in it, University of Arkansas. That's one of the most powerful things that I can say that this university has done. Like I'm saying, Sam Red Dyke came and got his. Each athletic director has their own program. I mean, for ex-athletes in the education. But each athletic director has a program set up for us to continue our education. If like Limbo was saying, he came and fucked up this real and education was not the top, not for me, nowhere. You know, but now as we get older, we understand the importance of, but just to say, well, I got it. You know, I didn't just come up here and just goof off all these years and didn't get nothing out of the deal.
So, Donnie, this is what happened with me. You know, when I left Arkansas, I went home after my dad passed away. I started working. I was working security, and one coach said, "How far are you away from getting your degree?" 30 points an hour. Well, just take a little bit at a time. You know, take 4 hours this semester, 4 hours. You know, don't try to overload it. You know, I don't know what this is, but I said, but then we. Can I have that? You sure you can. Yeah, no, you didn't wash your hands, Dave. So here's what happened. I didn't graduate from the University of Arkansas. I got my degree from University of Central Missouri. Okay. That, like I tell my players and everybody, I went from was able to sign my name and pick up every book in the union that I wanted to being $45,000 in debt because I had to go get a student loan. You know, you got student loan financial aid. Student loan, you got to pay that shit back. Okay, so I went from, and I blame it on me. But one of the most rewarding things was when I did finish that degree. You know, one of those things like, you know, they made me pay for the capping. I wasn't walking because I should have walked 20 years ago. I didn't care to walk. I didn't want nothing. I just wanted the paper. I had to pay for that. They sent me some invitation. What I look like at 40 years old, sending out invitations, but it's something I should have did 20 years ago.
Yep. I didn't even want that. I said, give me that piece of paper that surely my name's going to be in the sidewalk. That's all I want to see.
Well, and that's
I didn't care what I said. I want to know where my name's going to be in the sidewalk. And that's all I cared about.
When I went and got my degree, I had my mother with me. Dad done passed away. And when they handed me the degree, I handed it to her because that's what she wanted. And that was the most enjoyable thing for me.
Yeah.
That I did. And nobody can say I'm not. But one of the painful things when you don't have your degree, walking around places, people, where did you get your degree? And you knew you played for the race, but I didn't finish. They look at you like you're something wrong with you. I don't know if y'all had y'all experience like that. I mean, it doesn't feel good.
Listen, I got 2 degrees and a license in 2 states, and I don't know where none of them are right now. They're all still rolled up in the tubes they gave me. I haven't put one in a frame and hung one. No, because it was obtaining them was the issue. I don't care about displaying if anybody know about it. I did it for myself. So I care about displaying it. I'm telling you, my Arkansas degree from University of Arkansas and law school and my 2 law licenses are still in the tubes they came with. I've never even put them in a frame. And I figured the day I frame them, I'll probably fall over dead the next day. So I'm not going to worry about framing them now. So.
Guys, y'all still got y'all rings, your bowl rings, say holiday bowl, Liberty bowl, holiday bowl.
I got the orange bowl. I lost the holiday bowl in the fight.
I lost my.
That does not surprise me.
I lost my orange bowl ring. Soon they come back. Matter of fact, I think down this road here, going back up that way, I was driving, and you can see my fingers, my fingers all messed up. Anyway, so I had that ring on. The ring was actually too big, but I think I had it on my left hand. Anyway, so I was smoking a cigarette in that Grand Prix. One is cracked down, and I dumped the ash out the window.
Broken brakes.
Thank you.
Oh.
That same one. And that ring, it was dust. It was dust dog. And that ring came off my finger. I mean, I was by the road by myself, and I stopped and came back around, and I searched about an hour for that ring. Could not find it to this day. I don't have an Orange Bowl ring. I don't have a Liberty Bowl ring. Liberty Bowl watch. Liberty Bowl watch or that Holiday Bowl ring.
Well, I got the Orange Bowl ring. The Holiday Bowl. Anybody out there listening, and you find a Holiday Bowl ring that says Limbo Parks on it, would you please return it to the University of Arkansas?
Same with that Orange Bowl ring with Donnie Sanders on there.
We would very appreciate it because I would love to have my rings back.
I would love it. And because I had before Dean passed, I was dealing with Dean on there because Dean was on one new the manufacturer that made that ring.
It was way too expensive to make one ring.
Yeah.
They'll do it for you, but you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
I keep hearing more and more stories that Dean Weber was part of.
Oh, David, my man.
Yeah.
And
David, my man.
from what I have gathered so far, he was more than just a trainer. He was a father figure to a lot of you guys.
I go by his place. I go by Dean's place.
Especially Limbo.
Someday. Yeah. I would go by Dean's place of residence and hang out with Dean for hours at a time, especially after a drug test. So you see you had the wrong person. You got the drug test. But no, seriously. But sometimes you might need a person. Someone that can talk to you, and he was that person for me, because he understood some of the issues I had because my trainer in high school had worked for Dean. Him and Dean worked together, so that was one reason I came to Arkansas was my training in high school. So my training in high school, I already told Dean before I got here some of my issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there with you right now. Man, yeah, I mean, seriously, I had it because I had it in I was Merwan was my thing, and what come to find in high school was that it was taking the oxygen out my muscles. That's why I was cramping up so much. But I played, like you're saying, both ways, offense, defense, keeping myself like that. So I had a cramp problem. So when I get to Arkansas, Dean already know my basic situation. So when we do these drug tests with Lou Holtz, the first couple of three, I think I flunked the first 3 drug tests with Lou Holtz. The first 3 drug tests. Yeah, I mean, it came all the way down to me, Shaw, and Buddha. I think Buddha. It was us 3. We were the last three standing. Yeah, we were the last 3 standing on that particular bill. So that's what Dean was to me. I'll go by Dean under certain situations and talk to Dean. Dean would sit me down and we chop it up. He kind of explained some things to me. Some of the dangers of what I was doing, my reckless behavior, the things that he could do for me to help me, some resources, some books, read this, do this, try to take side, So he really took his time.
They had color pictures in it.
Yeah, I can tell by the pictures. I read by the pictures. Kind of like you, well, you taught me.
The reason why I wanted to bring Dean up too is because with Greg's book, he talked about he wanted to come here early, and Dean was kind of on the fence about it. And Greg actually got here earlier than the rest of the freshmen because, he had a place to go, but I mean, he wanted to come here earlier than what the rest of the freshmen were able to come up here, and Dean found that spot for him to come up here a couple of weeks earlier. And that's where I start to see some of the commonalities where Dean was more of a father figure to a lot of you guys than just a trainer.
Don't point the finger over this way. Not everybody got a good relationship. I just let it go. But you know what? I rest is great trainer.
Yep. What problem did you have with Dane especially?
No.
We will not discuss that here on the air.
Okay.
No, you know what? I'll tell you off the tape.
Well, he held you accountable.
No, he held me accountable my ass. He held me accountable for nothing.
Hey,
Never had Kelly for me for nothing.
Dean was a great trainer. I didn't have that kind of relationship with him. I tried to stay away from the training room as much as possible. I didn't want to be hurt. I didn't want to be around to hurt people. I didn't want to go in there where them hurt people were. So I stayed away from it, especially running back. We getting hit every day and all that stuff we had to go through. I didn't go in there. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't need nothing from him. If I could go home and just soak myself, I'm gone. I didn't have the relationship. It wasn't like Dean was a father figure for me because I had a father.
I had a father too.
My mother and father came to every game for 4 years. It didn't matter where we went. If we'd have played Tetris on the moon, my mom and dad would have been there, okay? Because they was going to be, one of them was going to be at my game. Either my mother or my father, sometimes both. But one of them was going to be there. My mother, one time, I had two brothers playing college football in Arkansas. My mother had to bring clothes for 3 games. We started in Fayetteville for the first game. We didn't have lights. We played day game early, started 11, 12 o'clock. And she stopped in Russellville for my younger brother for his game, played for Arkansas Tech. And they had a 3, 4 o'clock start, something like that, whatever. And then she went to my older brother game in Magnolia. He played for Southern Arkansas for the night game at 7 o'clock. And she drove right across the state, won the 3 football games. That's what my mother did. So I didn't have that kind of relationship with Dean. He was a great trainer. I mean, I saw everything he did, and he was a funny guy. I mean, so I enjoyed being around him, but I didn't have that kind of relationship with Dean. I mean,
I didn't either.
I was a running back, and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go in the training room for nothing. I didn't want to be hurt. I didn't want to be around hurt people. I didn't want nothing rubbing off on me. Okay.
Well, I know one thing: ice and stem was a cure-all. Broken neck, ice and stem. Broken leg, ice and stem. That's the cure-all for everything back in the day. But as far as like I said, when I came here, I was raised by my mom and dad, and I didn't have. So I'm just saying, not everybody had a relationship, because sometimes some people's languages in that room wasn't appropriate. What I wanted to hear, because I wouldn't want to hear it. So we would, and we'll talk. And you probably was there. You probably held me back.
Hey man, get off the mic.
As a softball player.
Yeah.
And I came over, and my roommate and we came over and watched some of the softball games. So as a softball player, how close of a big group were you all as opposed to like the commonality that we have in the story we tell? Did y'all have the same kind of relationship?
Yeah, we did. I didn't play in college. I stopped after high school, but I played competitively with the same group of girls for the most part since I was 8 years old. And so that's even like still to this day, we could get all of us on a table like this and talk about the crazy things that we did. And the one time we were here and there and doing, all the stories, not even just like on the field, obviously much more off the field stuff. But when you grow up around people like that, and we're all now doing all of our different things, and we're in different places around the country, we could all get back and we can all have that commonality, which is really, really special. And I haven't seen some of them in probably 5 years because they're ball back for the most part in Virginia. But that's what's special, is you can not see people for a really long time and then get back together and reminisce on a lot of good stuff.
Well, y'all do for a reunion.
We are.
And
I
are
gotta get
we
back
invited?
to Virginia. I gotta get back to Virginia, man. Do that. Come
But
on.
That's one of the special things about this group of guys because I may not talk to Marshall or Limbo for a month, and then we'll pick up almost like where we left off the last time we talked, because it's not like we have to be in each other's presence feel close to him, though. That's just a good thing about it.
He lives right down the street from me, and I very rarely see him.
So, last minute or two, real quick. So, I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us today. It's been an incredible experience. You got any parting words, anything you guys want to pub before we get out of here?
Well, I will say this. If you ever go to my roomie's house and stay the night, be prepared to work in the grocery store.
What is the grocery store?
His house has a grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you stay the night, you got to work in the grocery store.
Experience?
Yeah, first time I stayed over there, she was like, okay, we need you on the register. You need to go stock this. I'm sitting there looking at this. I'm looking at this woman going, what the hell is she talking about? Like, oh, yeah, everybody got to work in the grocery store.
Wait, and Rumi you didn't get him heads up on that?
I need to give me a heads up on it.
Oh, that's dirty.
He's brought cheap labor.
Absolutely.
Donnie, we're wrapping this up really quick. Any final thoughts, any words you want to say? Anything you want to put out there?
Yeah, actually, right now, matter of fact, I just met with some people about a community center through a company called non-profit called Books and Bobby. My lady friend is the mayor of the town, and we have like a few buildings downtown with quite a few footage. And we're looking at a community center now, waiting on the safe from up in Washington if they're going to send some money down our way. It's Books and Bobby. It's teamed up with Top Dots. Top Dots is my nonprofit, which is tired of being depressed, oppressed, suppressed. And obviously, I'm still working with Parent Prison Student Initiative, the ambassador for the state of Arkansas. So if I don't know anybody who's been struggling with some type of substance abuse problems or mental issues or homelessness and things of that nature, incarceration, that's where we come in and step in and try to do something, because I'm using my lived experiences to try to give back. And I've been homeless. I've been in and out of the prison system. I've been on the drugs and all this kind of stuff. So it's only right to feel that I offer some type of help to those in need, because the navigation part to get back on our feet, Limbo can definitely vouch for what I'm talking about, because during some of my darkest hours, some of my very darkest hours, Limbo, that's why I shoot at him so hard, because we've traveled some roads that he's seen. Like I'm saying, he's seen some things in my life more so than Frank, and Frank has seen it quite a bit, So that's
And we always love you.
Yeah, and I love you too. No matter how ugly you are,
I'm ugly now.
You are.
Ain't never been. I'm just fat.
Well, are you fat? I thought you was bringing sexy back. But anyway, that's where I am today, and I just want to shoot a shout out. Hey, thank you, Jason, for having us up, man. Thank you, Torchys. Thank you, Torchys. And I guess you drank.
What's that website?
Oh, Books from Bobby.com. Hey, baby, that booksfrombobby.org. Yeah, .org.
Okay.
Booksfrombobby.org. Top Dots doesn't have a website yet, but of course, PSPI.org. Yep. Yeah, so y'all can check that out, and if you want to get involved, get involved. We look for board members for PSPI actually right now.
Hey, I just want to say thank you, Jason, for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Hanging around with these guys is never a dull moment. I look forward to that. That's one thing I do look forward to coming back here. That I told Luther I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I enjoy eating the whole catfish, because that's the only one time I only eat it. I only eat hush puppies one time a year, and that's when I come up here for reunion. Other than that, I've never eaten another hush puppy. I won't. I will not eat another one until I come back here next year. That's the only time I eat it. If I come up here, that's all I eat. So I look forward to having you, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been good. You gotta say that's from the catfish hole.
Alyssa, anything else?
Yeah, no, it's been fun to listen to you guys. Thanks for letting me hang out and listen to all your stories, for sure.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you guys soon. And my Monday night, Dudley will be live with me for the Arkansas Diamond Report, and next Thursday, Otis and myself at 7 p.m. Torchys in here. All of us, y'all take care. Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos and college football. we're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchys Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas Pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattyson. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchys is the place. Torchys' location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas Pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchys has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchys has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.